What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Spotlight series here at Gray Area. It's your girl, Ryden, and we have a new guest with us here today. His name is Ammo Avenue. Ammo has released at some of the most renowned labels in house music, including Rawthentic, Deeperfect, Tool Room, Black Book Records. He's also played all over the world, especially in South America, and it is so exciting to have him with us here today. Welcome.
Hey, how's everything? Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being here. You're in Peru right now, right? Because that's where you're from?
Yes, in Lima, Peru.
What's it like over there right now?
It's hot, actually. It's been a while, so we kind of don't miss winter at the moment. So it's really hot over here.
Okay, so like Lima hot is how hot? Like I need numbers.
I mean, about 27 to 30 Celsius. It's not as hot as the US or Central America, but it's hot for us.
Oh, okay, got it. Awesome. And you've been playing venues and all that through the entire pandemic and everything, right? I saw that you've
Yeah,
been out.
yeah. Luckily, well, I think same as everyone, we had like, I don't know, 8, 10, probably 12 months of nothing. But then little by little, we've managed to pull things out.
Yeah, I saw your post saying that BPM Festival in Costa Rica, right, had been postponed. So that must have been
Yes.
disappointing.
Yes, it was. It was actually my first festival, and abroad as well, my first big festival.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a bummer, but I think we managed to make the most out of it while being already there.
Yeah, and plus they've rescheduled it, so you'll still get to do it.
Yes, hopefully I'll be there by next year.
Were you excited to be playing your first ever festival set, or you still are actually?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, not only by the fact of the festival itself, but traveling to a new country and having that many amazing showcases and DJs that I was looking forward to connect. So overall, it was like a full circle.
What was the first festival that you went to as a fan then?
I had to say probably a Creamfields, if I'm not wrong.
Oh, I've always wanted to go to Creamfields.
Oh, you haven't been there before?
No, I've just seen video. When I first started out in EDM, I remember seeing those videos of like of Swedish House Mafia playing
Yeah,
Creamfields, and I was
yeah.
like,
What a
legendary.
time! What a time! Yes.
I know, what a time. What year was your first Creamfields?
I think it was here in Lima. I think it was 2014 to 2014 or 15, something like
Okay.
that.
So you grew up in Peru then, I'm assuming?
Yes,
Tell me
in
about
Lima.
that. What was that like?
Well, of course, we are a not so developed country in terms of house music, if compared to, I don't know, nearby countries like Argentina or Brazil. Our scene is a little bit small, but it's like, I think it's fast growing, you know? I think by the time of the pandemic, like 2019, compared to when I started making or going to raves 2012, 13, you can tell it's grown so much, like in terms of scene, production, crowd, franchises that now come that didn't come before. You
Mm.
know, I think it's like I said, a fast growing environment around here, and yes, I think we're at our best time right now.
What were you listening to when you were just a little kid then, if electronic music wasn't that popular yet?
Probably punk, rock, mostly
Really?
English music. Yeah, music in English, basically. That's what my brothers taught me. You know, they always shared music with me, hip hop a lot, reggae music. So yeah, basically a little bit of everything.
What hip hop artists were you into?
Of course, the most renowned ones, such as, I don't know, Eminem, Biggie, 50 Cent, Tupac, and a little bit more underground ones, probably.
Yeah, I'm from Los Angeles. I'm still in Los Angeles. So when people say Tupac, I'm like, I grew up on him. He is,
Yeah, absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. Hands down, the best one.
Did you want to be a musician when you were a kid?
No, I think I don't have I don't know. I didn't used to have a clear answer for when people asked me, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" You know, it wasn't really never that clear for me.
Yeah.
But I know it had to be something either with communications or arts. So I mean, music was always around. Yet I never thought I would study music or, lock myself in a conservatory or something like that.
Hmm.
Yet that's not something I discard. It just wasn't the process for me. So I studied publicity, advertisement,
Oh,
and
interesting.
then music kind of followed.
I think I find that with a lot of artists because I ended up studying communication too. My degree is in comm. And I think a lot of us are just kind of like, we need to do something creative in media, but our
Yeah,
parents told us we have to get this degree. So communication, yeah, like
yeah, the middle point, the halfway point.
yeah, it's like we just need to get the degree, but we can't figure out what it is because when you're I don't know 10, I didn't know what a DJ producer was. I don't know about you, but it wasn't an option.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think even after finishing high school, I didn't see DJing or producing music as a proper career or
Yeah.
a proper job, But you dig deeper and you realize it's actually a full time thing, So
Were your brothers also are they also musicians because they showed you so many punk rock records and all?
no, no, not at all. One's a biologist and the other one is a chef. So not much to do with music, but of course, records were always playing here in the house.
Yeah, yeah. And your parents, the nothing in music also?
Nope. One of my uncles probably has the musician side, but before that or after that, not much.
Wow. So you're like the trailblazer artist in the family.
Yes, yes.
At what point did hey, communications, my brothers is a chef and biologist. At what point did you land on being an artist and wanting to be an artist?
Well, to me, I think it was a natural transition, because I did study and worked in advertisement agencies and everything parallel to DJing and involving myself more into house music, So by the time I had to decide which one I want to blow up, which one needs to have more attention, I had to let the other one go, So I think it was 2 or 3 years ago that I quit my job to pursue full time the house music career.
Congrats, by the way. It's so exciting. That moment is so exciting, I think, for every artist
Yeah,
when
it is.
they like, this is who I
It
am.
is, and especially when it's not a rush decision, especially when you have been planning it or figuring out if it's the best
Hmm.
road to take or not, So
Yeah.
yeah, it is rewarding after all.
What was that like push then that was like, okay, this is the decision. I've been planning it. What was that moment? Or was it a bunch of little moments?
Yeah, I would say a bunch of little ones, because you think of course money, you think of time, you think of your personal stress, and if you actually can handle both. And I
Right.
think I could, but again, if you want the other one to properly blow up, you need kind of to let the other one go, So
Yeah. One of my favorite quotes is from, I don't know if you know who Tony Robbins is, but I think he says, if you want to take the island, you have to sink the ships.
yeah, yeah, makes perfect sense to me.
Right. And but it's terrifying, right? Because you're like, it would be nice to keep, there's nothing wrong with the ship. Let's just keep the ship just in case. But
Yeah,
you really won't go 100% if unless you go, there's no other way out. This is it. So props to you.
thank you, appreciate it.
How did you discover DJing and like when did you teach yourself to DJ?
Yes, I'm self-taught when it comes to house music, DJing and producing. I discovered it probably at house parties. When my friends first started to, I don't know, play tracks in house parties, in small gatherings and stuff. And then having the first parties we actually went to, we first attended to, So yes, it was around my senior year at high school that that word kind of appeared to me.
Well, do you remember what your first experience of discovering house music was like and why it clearly has drawn you to want to make a life in it now?
Yeah, I would say I mean it's hard to describe, but I do remember this house party where I first listened to a track, like a house music track, and I was like, "What is this?" And it had like it was a Dana Twins track featuring the Doors or Jim Morrison sample. So it's a song I know, but played on a house beat. So I'm like, "What is this?" And I asked and started like digging deeper into what that was and where was more of that, where I could find more. So yeah, it's that like small moment that I kind of remember of my first approach.
Yeah. Was there another track later on that really like solidified your love of dance music, or was that the one for you?
Yes, I think when digging deeper and actually getting to know more about the genres and stuff, I think the first one that caught my attention was Toca Disco's remix of Body Language by Mandy.
That's a good
So
one.
yeah, it's an all-time classic, and it's like my entry point to all that era of music.
And did you learn, I'm assuming you learned DJing first and then production later, or were you one of the rare ones that did producing first?
No, yeah, it's actually rare, right?
Nobody starts producing first in
Yeah,
dance music. I don't know why. Like, but it's just it's the DJing is the gateway drug to the production because you want to play the
absolutely.
shows.
Absolutely. Yeah, I first I learned by myself as I told you, and I basically learned downloading Traktor on my laptop, and I learned with a mouse and click, and the hotkeys and everything. So yeah,
Yes, I remember Traktor. Oh my God, pre-record box and USB days. Yep.
yes, exactly.
And you had to
So
have the huge laptop out, right? Like when you did gigs or
yeah,
yeah, I
yes,
had the
yeah.
laptop and now you think about it, you're like, that's so embarrassing. Like I brought a computer to my
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love all setups. I
yeah.
do respect the fact of other people playing with any setup. I mean, if it works for you, it works for you. But nowadays, I mean, I consider myself as a digital era DJ.
Mm.
So being able to travel just with my USBs and headphones, it's the best for me.
Yeah, and I love that you said that too, because in the very beginning, especially when Tractor came on and the controllers came on, like people love to hate on the digital era DJ. It was like,
Yeah,
man, if you don't play vinyl, da da da. And then it was like, well, if you don't play control vinyl, and it's like, and then it was like, okay, well now there's USBs, and we're just gonna roll our eyes at that. But heaven forbid, then they rolled out the sync button.
yeah.
Oh my God, are you playing on the Nexuses? How dare you?
There you, yes, yes. It's like I don't know. It's like swearing. It's completely forbidden. It's something you shouldn't even mention. Because people horrify themselves.
I
But
know.
yeah,
But it's the norm now. It's the standard. And like you said, I mean, it's, let's travel with the USB and not crates of it's impractical, and
yeah,
it's a weird part of the genre and gigging in the genre now too. So
yes.
how did you discover production though at that after that?
Probably again by my friends. I recall my friends saying like, "Hey, you gotta make your own music," and I really, I mean, I was either not that interested or a bit naive, probably. Like why? I was like, why? I had no idea why should I make my own music if I was so happy just mixing records. But we're
Mhm.
talking about a 15, 16-year-old kid that probably had no idea at that time. But yes, then I basically downloaded Ableton by myself, thought it was Chinese, deleted it, and months later downloaded it again and I started learning because yes, it was so hard to read for someone that has no clue.
Wait, I love this is amazing. I love that you downloaded it and were like, nah, screw this, delete. And then you
Yes,
came back, like, you know, when you're on a diet and you throw something in the trash can, you're like,
yes,
I can't eat
same,
this. And then
same.
you're like, oh,
Yes,
I've
100%.
heard of someone deleting Able, being so angry at Ableton, they deleted it first.
Yes, I had no clue. So yes, but it was all part of the process.
It is. And honestly, like like DAWs are so, I went through the same experience I think every producer does. DAWs are so daunting to look at first. It's literally a gray matrix. What?
Yeah, yeah,
What are you
absolutely. No, it's not friendly at all. It's not intuitive. And again, I think our era is so used to like friendly stuff
doing?
that
Mm.
once you get to a proper studio or a gray screen, as you said, it's not gonna be easy, you know.
Yeah, you're like, this isn't GarageBand. What is
Yeah, I was actually used to these old mobile phones that had like I don't know the Nokia ones or Sony
oh,
Ericsson that had like their own beat makers.
oh yeah.
And I
Like
was
I
used
can't
to
just push
that.
a button and music happens.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I just remember being so confused. And I was frustrated too. I did the same thing. I downloaded Ableton and I opened it. I was like, okay, but where's the button just for music?
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
Where's the music?
where's the music thing? What was it that made you, you know, go back in the trash can and bring it back out and try again?
Probably my cousin that kind of knew his way around the program. He was already making beats, like not in a pro way, but he knew his way around the program. And I mean, I say I am a self-taught producer, but of course I had people
Yeah.
guiding me through the way, you know. So it was really one of my cousins that got me back into it and gave me those first lessons to get my way around the software.
Do you remember what your first beat sounded like?
Yeah, like trash. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to swear, but I was just about to. So,
It was
so yeah,
basura.
yeah, exactly. But,
I'm sure it was decent. And I think I've talked with other artists about this too, but like it's, I think we listen back to that first track and it sounds, the quality of it, because we can hear so much more now, is complete trash. But if you go back and really listen, there's little stylistic things, I don't know about you, that you're like, oh, that was, there's a little bit of gold in there, or
yeah,
you're like, I still
yeah,
do that, you know?
that's true. That's true. You can find some raw stuff that's really good in your first stuff. I actually love going back through old stuff that was never released or stuff to kind of grab what I like, you know. So yes, I think that's like our signature mark for all of us.
Yeah. And you were already making, you started making house music, and that was your first track was already in that genre?
Yes, I started making actually new disco and G house, you know, gangster house. That was
Yeah.
my first beats when actually all my I don't know, the first 2 or 3 years of my catalog are released in that style. So yeah, that was my entry point.
See, I always thought G House was more of an American thing that never really made it over there because
Yes.
we weren't classy enough for y'all.
No, I mean I loved the fact that there was house music so influenced by hip hop, you know, that mixed and matched so well with hip hop, and that's what I liked. And it was, I mean, it was a thing here in Peru, but it was more of a trend, like a really short term trend, you know. So it hit off well around here, but it didn't last too long.
Okay. What was it that made you lock into your current sound now?
What made me shift from G house to my current style was basically growing up, you know, being more mature about my style and realizing that I don't want to follow short-term trends, but I instead I want to make like timeless music, you know. So tech house, house, and deep house probably fell more into that idea rather than G house. That was something that I liked, yes, but probably not that long enough, you know.
And now fast forward and you've released on all these very like tastemaker type labels in house music, which must feel amazing to you. Do you remember what that first label signing was like? How that
Yes,
feel?
absolutely. I mean, the first label I signed to, I think it doesn't even exist anymore. It was I found it on a Facebook advertisement, you know, and I was like, I had this is probably one of my first regrets too, because I wasn't aware I should be releasing all of my stuff, you know, like the bad stuff. I would have loved to have somebody to tell me, hey, don't release that, that's trash. But I did anyways. And yes, I remember the feeling of signing music for the first time, and it was cool. But I would have loved to probably wait a little bit more and, you
Well,
know, keep the
clearly it
name
was
clean,
pretty
keep my
good
catalog
because it
clean.
got signed. So, and
Yeah,
like, clearly it was pretty good. And I think artists are always their own toughest critic. You can play a set or
absolutely.
release a song and you go back and you want to say all these bad things about it, but your fans didn't hear that. Your label clearly didn't hear it. They were like, yes, sign this man.
Yes, that's true. That's true too. I get that a lot also. I usually say the same to other people and they're like, no, I love this, you know, I love your early style and everything. So yes, I gotta give that to you. You know, that's if they're feeling it, it's for some reason.
Yeah, and it's every artist evolves. The biggest artists in the world have a discography that evolves. It's part of your journey. And I don't think,
Absolutely.
listen, if you didn't look back, even your stuff from like say last year, if you didn't look back and see improvement, then you're not doing it right in a way.
Yeah.
So in a way,
Yeah.
we'll always look back and think our stuff is trash. Like this is weird.
Yeah. Yes. That's true.
Always, always. And now, like, you've had your music supported by such huge names too, like Clapton, Lee Foss, Gorgon City. I mean, what has that been like for you to see? I'm sure names that you looked at when you were just starting out and learning.
Yes, it's still surreal for me. It's a bit surreal, you know, crazy. Same as sharing booth with some of these names, you know,
Ah,
playing alongside these names that I was first attending to their parties or whatever, and now being on their labels, they knowing the name and writing me, contacting me. You know, it's still a little bit surreal, but it's I think it is what I was looking for. You know.
is there one artist or label that you were like, oh my God, that you had that like feeling?
Yes, I think it was recently with Chris Lake and Black Book, especially because you know I got to talk to Chris and I said you were not even on my radar. You know, I didn't even know this was a chance. And Chris contacted me on Instagram saying, "Hey, can you send me some music?" And I was like, "Fuck!" I
Should I have
wasn't.
to make 100 tracks?
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, that was probably a cool moment recently.
That's amazing. Also, I love the Chris Lake and Black Book record sound. So that's
Yes.
awesome. And I think it's such a huge compliment that a label reaches out to you and not the opposite way around, you know?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Because that's the usual for me. You know, I'm
Sure.
usually sending demos to labels I like, but having been approached as well, it's really great.
Yeah. Are you going to continue to release a lot of records with them and to work personally with Chris?
Yes, I actually owe them stuff, so I need to get myself in the studio and send them more stuff because
That's a good
I do
problem.
wanna return.
No, that's a good problem to have. That's
Yes,
a good problem
absolutely.
to have. And I know that last year you even started, speaking of looking back and thinking things are trash, you taught production classes last year.
Yes, yes, yes. That's something I always wanted to do. I wasn't sure in which form, but I always had the idea that I want to give back to the scene. You know, same as somebody taught me in an easy way, I wanted to do the same for
Mm,
anybody else. You know,
mm.
so I didn't have the time. Same problem that many people have, but with the pandemic, of course, I did have the time more than enough to set up a course and luckily launch it. And I think it was cool. I'm really happy that I did it.
Was it a course like you had like students in a class or is one-on-one like tutoring?
Yeah, it was one-on-one, all 100% online Zoom lessons basically, and it was mix and match. It was a pre-recorded set of 12 episodes,
Oh,
and in parallel, like Zoom lessons.
okay. And the student becomes the teacher.
Yes, just like that.
And you've also just released your own sample pack.
Yes, I did.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. I'm super excited with that too.
Yeah, tell me about the sample pack. Like, what does it sound like, and what process did you go through for creating those samples?
Yes, so well, I was requested this by Deeperfect, Stefano Noferini's label, which I now have a good relationship with. So they basically asked me to deliver this, and I don't know, I had like a 2 month deadline to basically land all of my signature sounds into different sets of files, you know, like
Mm.
styles or categories. I mean, so that's something I also wanted to make, but I wanted my first sample pack to be released the proper way, you know, on a big store, on through a big label. So I was kind of holding that to myself. So once I got the request by Deeperfect, I was like, yes, let's do this.
So this pack has your signature sounds in it. And
Yes.
yeah, like what are these sounds?
Yes, I would say it's, I mean, it's my own swing, like, you know, the swing of the drums, the swing of the bass line, the effects, the actual sounds of synthesizers and
So,
bass lines. I think it's what I use the most, you know.
mm, mm.
So my idea is to kind of lend these tools to any other producers.
Do you use a lot of analog synths then, or when you're saying synths, you're using like your favorite plugins?
A mix of both. I'm a fan of the Moog synthesizers,
Of
so I use that a lot for my bassline and mid synths, and a lot of plugins as well.
Do you yourself use the sounds in this new sample pack, or is it sounds, inspired by what you usually use?
No, I do use them, and actually, I'm using my sample pack for my new productions as well, which is kind of crazy.
Oh
But
wow!
yes, it's helping me too.
What if it pops out and like so many people have similar sound? Like, I always worry about that with like a sample pack. And do you I don't
Yes,
know, does
I
that occur
mean,
to you?
it's true. What I don't like is, I mean, it's obvious, but what I don't like is when everybody uses the same sample, you know. But I try to make things different. So I did spice them up a little bit so that people didn't have the usual ones. And when I am using my own sample pack, I'm reworking those samples as well, you know. So
Okay, got
that's
it.
what I usually love about sampling. I don't just drag and drop, you know. I tend to or try to make something different out of it.
Yeah, yeah. And listen, two producers can get the exact same sample pack and they'll both come out with completely different tracks.
Yes, absolutely,
Unless
absolutely.
someone drags and drops the template, which everyone knows you shouldn't do anyway. So
Exactly. And I mean, you cannot get too purist about some stuff, you know, like, I mean, everybody can access a 909 hat, you know,
yeah,
like, so, so it depends on you 100%.
yeah, yeah. When you're not doing all this music stuff, the sample packs, the production lessons, playing, owing records to Black Book, like what are you doing? Yeah, what do you do for fun?
Probably between little bit, just a little bit amount of sports and I don't know, listening to more music. I'm a music addict, you know, so I would say between sports, traveling, or
Yeah.
just consuming more music.
What kind of sports?
Soccer, football.
Oh, okay, awesome. I've been staring, by the way. Are those Funko Pops behind you?
Yes, this one is actually it's my own Funko.
What? You
Yes,
made your own
this is a
Funko?
yeah, it's a gift from
Oh,
my girlfriend. It's like a custom one.
you can do that?
Yes, there was this guy that like handcraft them, you know. So
Yeah.
so yeah,
First of all,
it's so
I am
cool. Yes,
the biggest. Hold on, you can't see it. I just have to show you because it's important. I'm only grabbing three of them, but I am
Oh,
the biggest Funko Pop fan.
is that Doctor Strange? No.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
yeah, it
that's
is
it.
not. It's Benedict. Doctor Strange is over there. Wait, hold on. I have him too. This is now show and tell. I have Doctor Strange. I have
Okay.
Benedict Cumberbatch as Sherlock Holmes, who is
Oh,
amazing.
okay. They look
Um,
so alike.
what?
They look alike, you know.
They
And
do because it's the same actor. That's why.
I know.
And then I have Iron Man and Black Widow, and you're not seeing. I have a wall of Funko Pops.
Oh,
So,
yes, yes. I can imagine. I can imagine. That's for another talk.
yes. What's the other one behind you?
That's actually not a Funko brand, but it's one of the it's the clown.
Scary. Are you
So
into
yeah,
scary movies?
yes, I love them. So
Oh my God. What is your favorite scary movie?
mm, that's actually like a hard question. I don't have it at the top of my head, but I would have to say I recently loved Hereditary. Not so recent, but Hereditary was, I think, a groundbreaking movie
Oh,
for
I don't think well, first of all, I don't watch scary movies. So there's that.
yeah.
Yeah, no thing. I'm not going to pay to have a heart attack. No, thank you.
It's not so bad, you know.
God, no, I think the last scary movie I watched was The Ring, and that was it
Oh,
for me.
we're talking about 10 years ago,
I
probably.
know. Oh, I know. And I have not watched a scary movie since then. I was traumatized for life. I'm like, never again. The power of Christ shall compel you, or whatever people say.
Well, yes, The Ring was haunting. You know, I do remember the feeling of after watching it, and yes, it was haunting. So I'll give you that one.
What do you like about what do you like about scary movies?
I like when they're not so obvious, you know, and that's again why I like so much Hereditary,
Yeah.
because it doesn't follow the cliches, you know. So when it's really like
Okay.
mental
Yeah,
and
yeah.
not so explicit, that's what I like the most.
Yeah. Got it. So now we know that we now know what you watch when you're not making music.
Yes,
Terrifying
absolutely.
things. What plans do
Absolutely.
you have for your music up and coming up this year? I know you're still scheduled to play BPM Festival, which we talked about, which will be super dope. Shows, other releases.
Yes, well, I plan to keep touring South America, open a little bit more the Central and North American market as well. Of course, looking forward to my Europe debut, hopefully this year.
Oh, cool.
And yes, I really want to keep signing to these dream labels or goal labels on my to-do list.
Yeah, yeah.
And yes, I think year starts off pretty nicely since I'm releasing on Repopulate Mars and Circus Music soon. So those two are
Awesome.
a really good start for me this year.
When you think about all the other artists that you know or know of out there, is there one that really inspires you and makes you go, wow, like I would love to have a career similar to this person?
Yes, I always talk about these top three artists for me, which is Jamie Jones, Loco Dice, and David August. He's not that much into my style, you know. It's other kind of house music, but those three as a whole, you know, they are really solid references for me.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to seeing more and more of these dream artists and dream releases and dream shows come up for you this year. Thank you so much for being here. I am going to jump into your speed round.
Okay, let's do this.
Okay. You are sitting in a gaming chair, so I know you're ready.
I am.
The most comfortable chair of all time.
I
Okay.
need my red button.
All right. The first answer that comes into your mind, CDJs or techniques? Talked about this.
CDAs.
Ableton or Logic?
Ableton.
Costa Rica or Peru?
Now Peru, 100%.
What's your favorite Peruvian dish?
Ceviche.
Do you make ceviche? Can you make it?
I've made it, but I'm not sure I can make it again. I had it. I had good instructions.
What would you be doing if not for music?
uh, Dead, probably.
The first time someone said that, it just dropped dead.
Yes.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Grey Goose or Belvedere?
Grey Goose.
I saw that video.
Oh, yeah. You did.
I was like, what is that? Oh, what was that chaser? Well, I couldn't tell what it was.
What? Sorry, what was what?
Favorite chaser.
Chase?
Oh, do you guys not use that term? You know, like you take a drink, you take a shot of vodka, or in your case, you drink it from the bottle, and then you chase it with something.
Oh, the mixer. You mean yeah? It's a different word. Here we say mixer, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, it was summertime Red Bull, which is like a different flavor.
I didn't know there was summertime. I don't think we have summertime Red Bulls.
Really? Yeah. I think it might be a regional thing because I haven't seen it elsewhere either.
That sounds bomb. What does it taste like?
I'm not sure what's the actual flavor, but it's kind of like
summertime.
Yeah, it's kind of like peachy or something like that.
Okay, yeah, no, we don't have that there. That sounds really bomb. All right. Best advice anyone ever gave you?
Don't rush. Overall, it applies for everything, basically.
Yeah. Worst advice someone ever gave you?
That's a hard one. I'm not sure. Probably go ahead or jump. Something like that.
Jump.
Yeah.
All right. And last but not least, what would you tell your 5-year-old self?
My 5-year-old self. Everything happens for a reason. Probably too cliche and too pink, but still applies to my day-to-day. So yeah. I
mean, listen, it's cliche for a reason. It's because it's true. Yeah. I think we have to repeat that over and over again because we forget, and artists often forget because we are such sensitive souls and we overanalyze all our stuff and repeatedly call it trash, even when it was signed by a label.
Yes, you're true. It's a nice way to look at it for sure. It's good to have that reminder. Yeah. Well, congrats to you and everything you've already accomplished and everything that's coming up for you. I'm so stoked for you and really appreciate you being here. And thank you so much, you guys. This is Ammo Avenue. Thank you. No, I do appreciate the vibe and I'm happy we could connect for this little talk. So thank you for having me. Yeah, same. We're glad to have you here. So, and thank you for everyone else watching for tuning in to another episode of our Spotlight series, highlighting the story of the artist behind the music. Of course, you are tuned into Gray Area. We are the hub of house music culture and discovery. My name is Rawthentic, and I will see you guys soon. Keep it locked.